holding on to it tightly and I'm not sharing it out to the world, what should I expect in return?
Nothing in return.
Nothing in return, right? So if I have it to give, I'll give it, and therefore I will receive it in return. So that's kind of how I function. So just a couple objectives that we have today is we want to audit your business. I want you to look at your business, where you are year to date, and then we're going to identify strategies for you to hit your goals. We're going to break down your goals with specific priorities and strategies to ensure that you actually hit the goal. And we're going to use a tool in order to look at it on a monthly and weekly and daily basis. And the reason I love doing this, so for anybody who's out there in the Zoom world and Facebook world who might not be sitting in here, my name is Rachel Sartain, team leader for 10.5 years. Keller Williams. 10.5 years. I'm still amazed by that. So I've been helping people grow businesses, and I've been studying the process of growing businesses for at least 17 years, because I've been in real estate for 17 years. Have to count, not sure sometimes. So, you know, and I've gone to numerous classes. I go to training monthly, weekly for things like this. And I'm constantly trying to absorb information so that I can share it back out, just like what we were talking about, scarcity versus abundance. If I'm constantly absorbing information, I have it to give. And so that's why I do what I do. So because we got a couple people in here, why don't you guys tell me, are you on track to hit, think about what your goal was when you started the year.
I should have brought my paper.
No, just think about what your goal was when you started the beginning of the year.
Okay.
You have your goal in mind. I'm going to look at the camera up there a little bit because I'm trying to keep the balance of human interaction and video interaction. Hey, Michael, when you're done there, you want to go sit right there?
Yeah, you don't need me to screen share.
So think about what your goal was when you started the year. Who all was involved in that goal? Who all is impacted by the goal? I had a coach ask me about 2 years ago, we were not on track to hit our goal for the office. And it was July, August, and he asked me, he said, should we adjust the goal? And it sounds like a natural question, right? Like if you're not on track to hit the goal, should you adjust the goal? So I started thinking about all the people that were involved in that goal setting process. And there were probably like 8 people involved in that goal setting process. And then there were other people in my family, in my life, that were also impacted by being able to hit that goal. And so I had to think about all of the people that were going to be impacted if I took my goal and shrunk it. So I just want you guys to think about that. Like if you look at what your goal was, or if you're not on track to hit it and you're thinking about shrinking your goal, then you need to go back and have a conversation with the people who are involved and impacted by the goal. Maybe you are on track to hit your goal and you're kind of running out of steam, and if you are on track to hit your goal or you're ahead of the mark, you put in a ton of energy in the first 5 months of this year, especially in the last 2 months. I mean, like you would have had to push very hard and with all of your might to get through the pandemic, to get through that activity, to still be on track to hit your goal. So you're probably thinking about where am I going to find the energy to even finish out the year? Sometimes I think, where am I going to find the energy to finish out the day, right? Anybody in that boat? So there's a couple different places that you might be, and I just want you to think about, if you don't mind, write down the people that helped you set the goal and the people that are impacted by your goal. Take a minute to do that. Well, I know the 2020 original goal Where are you now? And who is impacted? I had a conversation with Michael a couple of, might have been a month ago now. And it was a realization that there are people that I've invited into my world. Michael's one of those, like we're partners in business. And I realized that if I wasn't performing at the level that I should be, that the people I've brought into my world were suffering. And that was a huge deal for me. So, you know, I'm a person that likes pressure. Like I love to put pressure on myself. Pressure makes me perform. Pressure doesn't make everybody perform, does it?
No.
No. If I put pressure on Kathy, you think she would perform? No, she wants hugs and love. Right, Kathy? She wants hugs and love. But I like pressure. So you have to understand who you are, what your behavioral style is, and what makes you tick. Kent, what makes you tick?
I think pressure really makes me tick. I'm an achiever, and I think I really like to, hit the bogey and hit those goals that I set. So
Yeah.
I think pressure is the way I'm wired, not the hugs. And unfortunately, not the.
Not the hugs. You like the pressure.
Yeah.
And I remember we did this before, and you were saying, kind of you've used debt in the past as a motivator.
My
Mhm.
father says that. Yeah.
Oh, so debt can also be a motivator.
I had everything paid off. I took off when I was in my 30s, and my father said, "You need some debt. You need something biting at your heels."
I've actually told people that too.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's kind of what we're referring to, but I think all people in different ways are motivated.
Yeah. So you needed some debt, and I've talked to people about that. Go buy a car. Get a car payment. Okay? If you have everything paid off and you're young and you're not motivated and you're not married and you don't have a house, go buy a car. Go buy a boat, you know?
Yeah.
Go buy a boat.
That'll take money.
Yeah, it takes money, but it's also it's that feeling of the debt and the scarcity biting at your heels, like you said.
Right. Fear and greed. I think fear is a motivator, and some people want to have a lot of things, abundance. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we understand there are different motivators for different people, but we want to know, what was your original goal? Where are you? And who is impacted? Okay. So do you guys got that clear? You kind of got your head wrapped around that?
Yep.
All right. So now we want to use a tool that we always refer to as the 411. And I don't have those printed. I have, we want to use a tool called a GPS. I do have these printed. And if you are on Facebook, we will get you some.
That's the same.
Yeah. All right, so the GPS is super simple. And the GPS is nothing more than, so these are your goal, priority. And if you're listening to, if you're watching Ben Kinney's Win, Make, Give, you understand that there's no such thing as priorities. There's just a priority. We do one at a time though. Hey, Joe, congratulations on that closing and all the other business that you have going on. So we got goals, priorities, and strategies. So I started the question off with, what was your 2020 original goal? Where are you? Who's impacted? You get to decide if you need to change your goal. I don't decide that for you. It's your goal, so you get to decide it. So right there on the top where it says, my one thing for the year is, that's what your 2020 goal is from here on out. So if you're changing it, you need to write that on there. If you're not changing it, if you're keeping the goal that you originally set, you need to write that on there.
And are we talking unit-wise or number-wise?
So that's a question that's always asked. Are we talking about units or volume? I don't know. What are you talking? So really it all boils down to one thing, right? Why are you in this business?
Make money.
To make money. So does volume always translate to the income that you take home? No. Do units always translate into the income you take home? Okay, so why don't you put your income goal? And everybody takes this differently. So if you want to put your volume goal, if you want to put your unit goal, if you want to say that you're building a team and you're going to have 3 team members, if you're going to say you're going to have 10 active listings at any given time. I don't know what your goal is. You guys get to decide what the goal is. Then we're gonna say, okay, so we got our goal. I'm gonna erase some of this so I can stay in the middle of the board here. So you've got your 2020 goal. What's one thing, here you go, Michael. What's one thing that, who's gonna share their goal with me so I can use you as a guinea pig?
I'll be happy. Somebody, I'll do it, sure.
What's your goal?
My goal, as far as you're talking about production, we're talking about this, I want to make 200,000
You wanna make 200,000 from today until the end of the year, or was that for the whole
for the
year?
whole year.
For the whole year, okay, thank you, Ken.
Right.
So the goal is 200,000 income, and this is gross income, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you know where you are year to date?
Yes, I do. It's on my.
Of course you do. I'm surprised you didn't take out that piece of paper that you used to keep folded up in your wallet.
I got it on,
The
it's
ledger.
for Google Drive, right?
I know. We went technology.
Sorry. I'm at $92,075.
Okay, $92,075.
Yeah.
Any cents? 27
Yeah,
cents?
12 cents.
12 cents. I knew you knew the cents, or I wouldn't have asked. Okay. So since it is June 11th, is Kent on track to hit his goal?
Little shy.
A little shy.
Well, we're not actually midway through the year. We still got a couple of weeks. Yeah, July 1st would actually be midway
Sure,
through the
sure.
year.
Yeah.
Now, here's another thing that you guys need to notice. When we set goals at the beginning of the year, I've seen people do this every year. So you got January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. And we set goals. So if the goal was 200,000, how much do you have to make per month?
So 13,000, I got to think about it for a second.
Well, 12,000 would be 240.
Yeah, that's right.
So right around 11,000.
11,000. Right.
10.5, somewhere right around there. Okay, so your goal, your income goal looks like this, right? Correct?
Right.
Income goal looks like that. What's the real estate market do? Does the real estate market work like that?
No.
No. What's the real estate market do? Good. Typically, the real estate market does it like this, right?
That's, so show us the real, let's see the real graph for this year.
This is National Association of Realtors trend year after year after year. Now let's look at this year.
That's mine.
Right?
Yeah, inverted curve.
Yeah, that's what the real estate market did this year. Now, I only show this because I hit that pretty good. Well, yeah, so I guess it was March, started dropping, April, May was flat, June, we're starting to go back up. I did this because I want you guys to think about when you're setting goals because we're in the real estate sales market, that your income goal might need to vary with the fluctuation of the market. With, got a month. For me, November's always the quietest month. December picks back up and has a lot more closings. So you need to take that into consideration when you're looking at your goal, but you're right on track. Currently, what's in your pipeline?
Yeah, I've got 5 contracts right now.
5 contracts, so your pipeline's full, so everything's looking good. What's one thing that you know you have to do to finish out the year to earn the 200,000?
I just need to do something besides nothing.
Something besides nothing. What's one thing you know you have to do that tested and tried and true that you've
Get more
done?
listings, get more listings.
Okay, get more listings. How are you going to get more listings, Kim?
Work on a marketing strategy.
Okay.
Yep.
So, so the first priority.
Work my sphere and also work my local market, my sphere of people I know, and also work my my territory. Right?
Okay, so what do we listen at Keller Williams?
We call it
Working your sphere, working your farm, getting more listings.
working or just Paycheck, yeah.
Yeah, we call it lead generation. Michael calls it business acquisition,
Yeah, I know.
client acquisition.
Right.
Business lead generation, client acquisition, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. So all of those things that you just mentioned, these are actually strategies for lead generation. So if you look at your page there, you've got the priority, which would be lead generation, and then you've got the methods for lead generating. So you said contacting your sphere.
Yeah, right.
Okay. See, and then I like to take this a little step farther, contacting sphere.
With good information, not
Of
just.
course.
Yeah,
of
I
course.
just like good information.
So we want to make this goal SMART.
Right.
Who remembers what SMART means other than reading?
Specific,
All right, it's
Right.
specific.
measurable. I want to say attainable, but that's not it.
No, I don't like attainable because it's
Yeah.
not well defined.
Activity, no.
Kind of activity, action oriented. What's the action around it? What's the R? What's the result you want?
Time.
And in what time frame? Exactly. So when you say contacting your sphere, you can be specific that you want it to be a value add, a service add coming from contribution.
Right.
Okay. Is it measurable? So how many people do you want to contact per day, per week, per month? That's where we would make it measurable. What is the action? So how will you do it? You like to do pop buys, right?
Popeyes.
Pop buys.
Yeah, I know what they.
Where you pop,
Oh, Popeye.
not Popeye, pop buy. So how do you like to contact the people that you know?
I have a newsletter that I sent out with the statistics.
Okay.
that we have of Pinellas County.
Okay,
So I have a nice newsletter with some recipes in the beginning through Wise Agent. I don't know if you remember
Oh,
that.
yeah, Wise Agent.
Wise Agent used that, and I send a real estate statistical newsletter that I link to that. I've been doing that regularly when it comes out before every beginning of the month.
okay, so you do that email monthly.
The e-newsletter, right?
Okay. Do you know what the result is?
It's my results are my production. My production's always been steady.
Okay,
Always been, even during
So-
COVID.
so this
that
is-
must be something from that. Yeah.
this is where we get with this is how we use our SMART goal.
Right.
Is if you send out this email once a month and you got responses, then we would be able to actually measure
Hard to
just that one activity. But it is hard to measure because it's a whole complex thing, right?
Right, 7,500 letters go out per
Okay.
month.
7,500, so we know, so we can measure that.
Right.
So we got 7,500 contacts right there.
Right.
All right. What is another way that you like to generate business or business acquisition?
We have a new campaign we're working on. I haven't done it yet, or just.
I
this is
want to
what
know
I've
past. What in the past have you used?
I'm a member of the St. Petersburg Yacht Club. I'm
Okay.
networking there. I'm part of the membership committee of the St. Petersburg Yacht Club.
So yacht club networking.
Right.
Okay, let's make it smart. So how many network events do you go to on a monthly basis?
Let's say 4.
4 per month? Okay.
Yeah, 4 with the membership committee, and I've actually meet people, new people to the club, and building friendship. Also, I've kind of keyed off the club. I've created a group called the Passport Club.
Right.
Okay, and the Passport Club is something within a club, or do you want to include that?
No, I'm just asking.
Okay.
So let's make it smart.
Okay,
Out of the people that you met from there, how many people have you added to your email campaigns?
probably maybe 20 or 30.
Okay, and maybe having a goal around adding people from here into your email campaign, since this brings you business, that would be a way to help make it smart. Or to say, okay, well, I'm doing 4 networking events there per month, whether it's having dinner or dancing or a passport or new member committee, whatever. I want to make sure I find 1 new contact per event.
I do that like a treasure hunt. It's like Google Sync. I don't know if you're familiar with Google Sync.
Yeah, I'm just
Whatever.
saying, this is how we make it
I
smart.
actually add it to my phone. It goes to my Wise Agent, and they all get the newsletter. Anybody I meet, any contact, get name and email. I do use Google Sync.
Okay, so you just want, that's how you're making this strategy
Correct.
smart,
Right.
is you would just want to put a number around it.
Gotcha.
Okay? What's another way that you generate business? And you guys can throw in other ways. This can be a round robin mixed in. How do you guys generate business?
I do EDDMs.
Okay. So everyday direct mail, right? And how many people do you send it out to?
It depends.
It
Like,
shouldn't.
I know, well, unfortunately, it's usually 5,000 that I send out.
So just remember, guys, consistency
Every other month though, right?
Every 6 weeks.
every 6 weeks. Okay.
Is that successful?
It has been, but unfortunately, I kind of tapered off because of surgery and then,
Oh,
So,
sure.
but we're just making it specific, we're making it smart. So it's everyday direct mail,
it has been.
once every 6 weeks to 5,000 people. Now, here's a trick that I'm just gonna share with you guys, and I remember working with you on this. Remember when you came in with your marketing pieces?
And they were all different.
They all look different, but she thought they all looked the same. And you think they all look the same because, I don't know how far I can move on this board.
You're
Because
good.
we send out a postcard and we've got this itty bitty picture of ourselves and some little language right there. Right? And so we think they all look the same. And one of them was blue and it had like yellow flowers on it. And one of them was green and it had different content. And another one was like black and white. And this one was over here. Yeah, they all look completely different. So remember, the consumer they're memorizing an image. When your little bitty square box head down here with your name beside it is not your image. If you send out the same image to 5,000 people every 6 weeks, did you become number one in their mind market share?
Yes.
Yes, right? So we learn in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book that it takes 8 contacts over 8 weeks to hit number one in somebody's mind market share. And that 76.5% of all buyers and sellers work with the first or the second realtor they remember. And just because you sold them a house 3 years ago, does that mean they're going to remember you?
Does it remember or interview?
Remember, because they're not going to interview you. It's the first or the
I'm
second.
thinking of the listing side.
It's both. It's the first or second realtor they contact, essentially. It's the contact. But who do they contact?
The person I remember.
The name they know, right? And so it might be that you might be the first person that called them and they remember you and you schedule an appointment with them. Or you just contacted them consistently. So consistency is key.
Absolutely.
And consistency in your imaging is key. Consistency in your message, consistency in your method. All of those are key. All right. That's why I always talk about your business card should look exactly like your sign.
It sure does.
Exactly like it. What does that?
Should look like you.
Well, it should look like you, not your
A 20-year-old picture.
not your high school graduation glamour shot, right? Okay, it should look like you. So your image should be the same. So Kathy, I know your sign looks just like your business card. And your business card looks just like your postcards. And it looks just like your flyers. And it looks just like every piece of your stickers, every piece of marketing that you put out there. Because you got a great gal working with you named Lindsay that helps you get all that done.
Absolutely.
All right, so just making sure that when you're doing this, I just remembered that from, when you first came on board, that was one of the first things that we looked at. What is another method for lead generation? What do you guys do? What?
Cold call.
Cold call. Now that's something that Kent's not going to do, but you will do.
Yeah, you threw away all the leads for me.
I know. You should cold call and see if you can find those.
Yeah.
Okay, so cold call. What is a cold call?
Someone that you don't know
Some,
specifically, for sale by owner, expired.
okay, a FSBO expired. Now in this market, it's not even post-COVID, but in this
Business
market,
owners.
it's also the ones that canceled. Right? A lot of listings canceled right around here.
Yeah, I had 2.
You had 2 canceled. If you put them in the MLS as canceled, I might go look them up. Now, some of you might be thinking, don't be sharing the secrets of success, Rachel. You know why I can share this?
Nobody will go do it.
Nobody's gonna do it. Nobody's gonna do it. Sylvia, are you gonna do it? You've been doing it, really? A little bit. I know. You called that condo seller yesterday. I know. Who's gonna do it? So that's the trick, is getting into action and following the plan. How many people will actually follow the plan? So we're gonna take and set priorities, 3 priorities. Now this is where it gets difficult, because we want to set 3 priorities for Kent to finish out his year with his 108,000 roughly in income, right? So if lead generation is a priority, what would be another priority?
Follow up,
Follow up?
lead follow up.
Okay, that's the priority.
No, lead generation and then, lead follow up. Those are the 2 things we gotta do.
Okay, I'm gonna say systems. Why did I say systems when Kathy said lead follow up?
That's a system.
Oh, just a good CRM to just keep track of, like, last clients, closed sales. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, just a good system.
What?
Consistency.
Consistency, right. I can't tell you how many realtors I talk to on a daily basis that call me, hey, I've got this contract working with this other agent and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what's the agent's name? Oh, I don't know. Okay, what's the address? I can't remember. Okay, so if you can't remember the agent's name and the address of the property that you're under contract with, the likelihood of you remembering the for sale by owner's name and address that you called 3 weeks ago is zilch. I call my database my brain. It's my brain. So I had a coaching call with Stephanie and Steve yesterday, and I'm typing in the notes, and we talked about an action item for them. As I'm in there, I just set up an action with the date of when it's due, with the notes. I push save. And so how many of you guys use a database while you're making calls?
I do now.
I do.
I did all the time.
Almost like 97% of the people in here.
I gotta tell you, the systems have been such a battle for me because of technology and just like blowing it aside. And now that I've finally taken that step, it's getting easier and easier and easier. And it's, this was how I kept my notes.
Right.
Here's the for sale by owner, the date.
She's got a piece of paper and a pen.
Yeah.
Spiral notebook. That's how Kathy, how many of those notebooks do you have?
Well, I have them back for about 12 to 15 years.
So there's no telling. Her whole garage is full of these little spiral notebooks.
June 2020.
Okay. So
However, when it goes in here, then it goes into the computer, because Lindsay takes the book, just puts everything in the computer.
right, and I know she does. So that's great. So everything that's in your book goes into the database. I just look at the database as my brain, and can you guys function without your brain?
No.
No, I think a lot of us try it every day, but we can't function without our brains. So I just use the database. I go into command. If I'm making calls, I'm in there typing. If I'm meeting people, if you walk by my office and I have a conversation with you, guess what? You walked away, I put add activity. Done. Because then I can say, when's the last time I contacted these people?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what a system for lead follow-up is perfect. We could put all the strategies for this priority, but I'm gonna keep going. So what would be one other priority for Kent to get to his goal by the end of the year? So if we have lead generation systems, what would be one more priority?
Is it close on that? Whatever he gets, he categorizes.
He needs to close them. Okay, I love that. So I'm going to call that
Education.
education. Absolutely. How effective are you in your conversation? How good is your consultation? How often are you setting expectations? Do you know the new contracts or the addenda or the new lender rules and regulations, or has there been anything that changed with FREC or the local communities that will inhibit you from getting to the closing table? So that would be strategies for education. So you guys following me there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's how we use this GPS. So we got the goal, we put the priorities in, and then we put the strategies in. Do you have the 411?
On there.
Okay,
I
Yes.
copied them.
can you get us some screen, please? Any questions on this? Comments? Ideas? Thought? Any questions out there? In the virtual world?
How about introducing new campaigns? As campaigns and marketing evolves, we're working on, that's I see systems as far as would be a drip campaign, but as far as new campaigns, so it's like, I'll tell you one thing, I'm working on a YouTube television channel. And we've got great production equipment, so where would that go as far as trying to, it seems like that's where it's evolving. People want to find out about St. Pete. They're gonna look at YouTube and watch that as opposed to a television show.
Okay, so
That's
Ken's asking, how do I create a campaign using YouTube videos for lead generation, right?
Yeah, we're gonna do that and have the calls come in, and we have the equipment and everything ready to go. So we're excited about that. So, but that's my question was, where do new campaigns go here?
You would put it here under priority, you would put that campaign.
Okay,
My challenge to you guys with new.
right.
And I had this conversation with somebody this morning. I'm going to go out and buy a moving van.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have it wrapped so that whenever I have a closing, that the customer can use my moving truck or my moving van. It does sound like a great idea, right, guys?
Yeah.
Sounds like a really good idea. You've got your branding, your marketing out there. You're giving this gift to your customer. They can use the truck.
Trash it.
Have you ever talked to a realtor that's owned one? Then that's where research, education comes into play. So one of the top expansion agents in the Keller Williams system, Kristen Cole, has always, have a seat, Paul, have a seat, Paul, have a seat, Paul. You can't fall asleep if you're sitting there.
That's right.
So Kristen would talk about her moving truck as, it was great in the beginning. It was something that she wanted. She thought it was great. The liability, the insurance, the maintenance, it was a headache. It was a headache. So with any new idea, what I'm going to tell you guys is it's not new.
Right.
Somebody has done some sort of the model before you. And so like with, I know a couple of agents out there who have interviewed different businesses, right? Kim Van Harwijnen does the TR Birdie business owners, right? Steph and Steve went out and were interviewing businesses and doing a video a week. So I've seen people go out and interview business owners, give information about businesses. It's on social media. Go ask them what the return on their time invested has been. Do the research. And you know, Michael and I talked about this. I don't remember what day on Reedy and Red we talked about this, about, you know, being on a path and a shiny object. And shiny objects can absolutely enhance your business. Do the research. Find out who has done it before. Were they successful or not? If they were successful, what made it successful? And like really dig in. Like, what was their call to action? How were they asking for business? What was their follow-up? How did the business come from it? Because I personally have not heard a success model from it. I take that back. DJ has had success with it. So
Yes, okay.
yeah, because he did the hippo popsicle truck thing.
Oh, with the truck.
Yeah, so it's like an ice cream truck, popsicle truck that he invited into his neighborhood that he farms, that he's already like the superhero king of Kenwood. He invited them into his neighborhood. So it was more of a building on a platform than something new that was just introduced.
Yeah, maybe just stay the course. I just thought I'd try something new.
Well, you have,
What's working is working, so.
you used to have
What?
great Halloween parties.
Yeah, oh yeah.
When's the last time you've done that, Ken?
Gosh, 3-4 years.
Yeah, I think it's probably been longer. I'm thinking it's like 5 years now. Yeah, I think I have pictures of my last costume there. So like, I think it's been about 5 years. But you've also had great like neighborhood parties, get-togethers, things like that. So taking something like that and having a local business be there might be, and I'm just throwing out an idea, again, shiny object, but it's like taking what you've already done and looking to implement
Later.
something else
Right.
with it instead of just trying something new.
Sure. I just want to add to what I'm already doing, just
Yeah.
a little seasoning to what we're doing.
Or if you're going to be going out and interviewing businesses or doing something about the city of St. Pete, maybe including that into the email newsletter that you're already doing.
But I do have a video with it from the, we do have a video of the statistics in the newsletter.
Okay. Well,
We got
but
a little video.
I'm just saying, if you're going to go out and do something new,
Okay,
add it to a platform that you already have with
Gotcha.
success.
gotcha. Okay,
Okay, so that would be my number one tip to all real estate agents that want to try something new, right? Okay, somebody has done it before us. Standing on the shoulders of giants. Okay, so we've got our 3 priorities. We talked about where that would fall into place. And it kind of falls in all 3, right? Because you got to educate yourself on the process, who has done it well. We need a system in place for consistency. And then we're going to just embed it into a success model for lead generation that you've already got going on.
gotcha.
All right, so then we're going to take what we call a 411. You know, at KW, we're full of acronyms and numbers. So this is what we call GPS. Is also called a 1, 3, 5. And then we got a 4, 1, 1. So what we're doing is we're doing the 1, 3, 5 to get to a 4, 1, 1 for your 2020 goals to hit 20,000 in gross income. Do you follow?
Right.
I just wanted to throw out a bunch of numbers at one time. I thought it was fun. So this is 4 weeks, 1 month, 1 year. And it looks like this is your year. What goes up there?
Is 200,000.
Yeah, it's 200,000. We've already got the 2020 goal, so we got the 200,000. And so now we have the month, and we're in what month?
June.
June. So he's at 92,075 closed. He's got about another 108,000 to go. What do we got to close in June to be on track to hit your goal?
16, about 20,000.
Actually, to be on track for June for you to hit your goal, you only need to do about 8,000.
Yeah, 43,000. Yeah, I mean.
You already have 43,000.
43,000 in contract, which doesn't mean anything.
Now, let's say that half of those might fall out.
That's right.
Okay, so 43,000 in commission income on the books. Let's say that half of that's going to fall out.
Right.
But in order for you to be on track for the middle of the year, being the end of June, you really only need 8,000.
Right.
Okay, but that's just, so we want to put our monthly goals here. What do I have to do this month in order to be on track for the year? And then what we're going to do down here is this is going to be week 1, 2, 3, 4. What do I got to do this week to achieve my monthly goals so that I'm on track to hit my annual goal? What would be some things that he would have to do this week?
Action steps, or you're talking about numbers?
Action steps. So that's where your strategies come into play. So
Right.
you can look at the priorities and your strategies, and that's what's going to come into your weeks right here.
Right.
You guys follow?
Mm-hmm.
So we know, when does your newsletter come out?
What comes out when the statistics come out, that's usually the 25th.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it right before the June number.
So we know that the newsletter goes here.
And I have that in my content relationship manager as a reminder.
Uh-huh.
Trying to get
So you
that.
have a reminder, but we know the activity is going to fall in the
Right.
4th week of the month.
Gotcha.
If you're going to embed a video of St. Pete, like you're talking about,
Now, what we're gonna do is like say St. Houses, the top 5 houses I would buy now in St. Petersburg.
okay.
That was our thought, and then we got more to work on that, excuse me.
Yeah, so if you're gonna say top 5 houses I'd buy right now in St. Petersburg, you gotta get approval from the listing agents.
Right,
So you would wanna do your video over here. so that it's ready for the newsletter over here. And this is just
Oh, I
an
see.
example, okay?
Gotcha, okay.
And you might want to do 2 videos here and 2 houses there and 3 houses here or something. But you need to plan it out so that when the 4th week shows up, you're ready.
One thing, well, not to get off subject, but one thing with the video and YouTube, it doesn't expire. The campaign doesn't end. It remains on that channel.
Yeah,
So
I understand.
it's still
I'm
working.
just saying, this is a preparation
Okay.
tool to ensure that you're hitting your strategies.
Gotcha, okay. So
Okay.
no, it's ongoing.
Yeah, of course it is. But if you were to, in this scenario, not saying that that's what you're doing, in this scenario, let's say you went out and previewed 5 homes that you're going to be putting the link into your newsletter, you have to prepare for it, right? So if you know your newsletter goes out the 4th week, you have to prepare in advance.
Okay.
You guys following me?
Mhm.
This is something that a coach of mine taught me to do, and it's so important. I don't know if you guys saw this with Debbie Frapp when she was on Radiant Rabbit. So the base of the triangle, these are your skills, your mindset, and your habits. You've got your schedule, and then your goals. And what you get in the middle are going to be your results. So if we didn't schedule for the videos to take place, but we had a goal to get them in the newsletter, would our schedule and our goals align? No, we didn't schedule it. We had a goal of it, but we didn't have the time prepared to take the action steps needed. So then our triangle kind of gets offset. So that's what this is here for. Let's say that you're going on vacation. So you're going to go on a vacation here. I don't know where you're going to go. Let's just say theoretically you're going to go on vacation. Well, and this is reoccurring every month. Well, if we know you're going on vacation week 3, your newsletter has to go out week 4, then you're going to have to do all of your videos not in week 3. You're going to have to do them in week 2. So that's what I talk about. You use this tool to plan ahead, to put your action steps that are needed so that you achieve your goals.
Gotcha.
Okay? So Joe, how many listings do you want to take a month?
So when I started, I was told to be realistic, so I set a schedule. So now my goal is 4 a month.
Okay. He used the word realistic, and why did I say So I say realistic is defined by the action steps you're willing to take. Right? What is realistic? What is realistic?
Whatever you.
What you can accomplish, right? Isn't that realistic? It's whatever you can accomplish. How do you accomplish something? You just do it, right?
You lead generate, you have systems, and you educate.
You do something. Like if I said I want to take 4 listings a month and I sat on my ass at home and didn't do anything, is it realistic for me to get 4 listings?
Nope.
No, but if I said I want to get 4 listings a month and I door knocked and I called for sale by owners and expired and canceled and my sphere, is it realistic for me to get 4 listings a month?
Yep.
Yeah, I'd probably exceed that goal, right? So it's defined by the action steps that you're willing to take. So we're going to say you want to get 4 listings. What do you have to do in order to get 4 listings?
So you have to go on a certain number of appointments.
Right, you have to go on a certain number of appointments. Here's another trick I'll show you guys. So if the goal is to get 4 listings, and you know you need to go on 8 listing appointments, don't say 2, 2, 2, 2. What ends up happening when you get to the 4th week?
Oh.
You've done 1. So I like to front load it, okay? So we need 8 appointments. How many can I get in week 1? What if you got all 8 appointments in week 1? You hit your 4 listings for the month in week 1.
Rest is gravy.
Yeah. Would you stop?
No.
No. If I got 4 listings in a month, there's nothing stopping me, or 4 listings in a week, there's nothing stopping me, right? I'm just gonna keep doing that activity. Actually, what would end up over here is hire and admin, right?
There you go.
If I'm getting 4 listings a week, I better hire an admin.
Yep.
All right.
Right? So, or let's say that you had a goal of 50 contacts a week, right? So you can use this for your schedule and setting priority, but you can also use it for a tracking mechanism. So let's say we had a goal of 50 contacts. So when you're working with a coach like myself or Michael, I'm going to say, where's your 411? If you got 50 contacts in there, we're sitting down, I'm gonna say, okay, you had a goal last week of 50 contacts. How many did you make? I made 43. Okay, that's pretty good. Sounds like you're getting close, you're making traction, you're doing the right things. Are you good with making that your goal for next week so we can push forward to it? Yeah, I'm good. Let's go ahead and make it 50 contacts. All right, next week you come in, and I say, Paul, how many contacts did you make? And you say, 22. Say, Paul, what happened? What got in the way? Well, my daughter had a baby, and I had to be in the hospital and visited my little grandbaby. And all right, I understand that. So do you want to keep the goal of 50 contacts, or are you going to be spending time with your daughter this week? No, 50, he says. All right. So
Go, Paul, go.
50 contacts, right? And Paul walks back into my office the next week, and I say, all right, Paul, did you make your 50 contacts? And he says, no, I only made 18.
Whoa.
Slacker.
Slacker. That's right.
Instead of continuing along this path of not hitting your goal, I'm gonna say, Paul, you got a lot going on in your life right now, and I want you to be successful. And I want us to have a goal that you can attain. Notice I didn't say realistic. I want you to have a goal that you can attain. You've hit 43, so I know you can hit 40. But in the last 2 weeks, because of all the new stuff you got going on in your life, you're averaging out to be around 20. But why don't we push it up to 25? Do you think you can do 5 contacts a day? 5 contacts a day. So we're going to say 25. So Paul comes in the next week. Guess how many contacts he made? He made 26 contacts. And we're going to say, high five, Paul. Woo! We're going to celebrate. Paul, let's do that again next week. Can we do 25 again next week? And so that we're going to pull out his July 411, and we're going to start working on that. And the next week, we're going to set for 25. He hits 25, and we're going to push him up to 30. And then we're going to get him back up to the 50. So that's how you can, but even if you don't have a coach, you don't have an accountability partner, you can do this with yourself. So it's just a great way to kind of get an overview of what's the priority for the month. And it also functions as a tracking tool. Michael, I have every one of your 411 since you've started.
That's right. Wow.
Every month, and every week is filled out.
It's impressive. I'm a big step.
Yeah.
But, and I think not a but, however, for this, they have to communicate, right? So there's a lot of activity. We talk about the activity or the time on task all the time. If Rachel and I go to a gym and I sit on the treadmill for 20 minutes and then the remainder of an hour and 40 minutes I'm watching her work out, but I tell people I go to the gym every day for 2 hours a day, doesn't mean that I'm doing anything with it just because I'm doing it. So, oh, I did my 50 contacts. Fantastic. How many appointments came out of it? None. Why did you do 50 contacts? There has to be communication from the activity to the goal.
Right.
And that's where, let's say that his goal is to set an appointment. So he said, all right, well, you gotta have 50 contacts to set one appointment. He only did 22 contacts, but he set 2 appointments. Why was the goal 50 contacts? You clearly don't need to talk to 50 people to just set one appointment. They have to communicate to one another. And that's a really important thing. And that is why having a coach is so important, because someone else is looking at your business from a different angle that can show you holes or blind spots that you're not aware of.
Yeah, so with the 411, it's great for tracking your activities and your success, and also tracking your conversion rates. I don't know if you guys are using the command opportunities, but as you move people through there, it tracks your conversion rate for you. So if you keep putting people under contract, and then they keep falling out during the inspection period, then we need to have some education around the expectation that was set, right? But you don't know unless you're tracking it. So you have to track the. Yeah, there's a lot of tracking. So you have to track your conversion rates as well. And so I was having a coaching call with somebody yesterday, and the constant battle for the past 3 years is creating a habit of daily lead generation. Creating a habit of daily lead generation, 9 to 11, 9 to 11. And they need a habit. They need a schedule in order to just function. That's just who they are. I said, well, I'm tired of having this conversation. We've been having the same conversation for 3 years. Why are we still having the same conversation? Why are we tracking a 2-hour lead generation window? It's like Michael's analogy of going to the gym and saying you went to the gym for 2 hours, but all you did was 20 minutes slowly walking on the treadmill. You didn't do anything, right? So instead, knowing that you just need 2 contacts to schedule 1 appointment, why don't we just track that? Can you do 2 contacts a day, please? Yeah, that's easy. Okay, we're done. Just 2 contacts with the idea of scheduling an appointment. 5 appointments a week. I don't care how long you lead generate.
This is my favorite tool. That's why we use the 411 so much, because like I always think of the doctor who has the manila folder on the outside of the door, and they kind of grab the folder and they look at it for 2 minutes and they open the door and they're like, how are you? It's been so good to see you since the last time you were. They don't remember who the hell you were, but they had the document allow them to go vital signs, vital signs, vital signs. There's a disconnect between their blood pressure and their cholesterol. It's the same thing here when I can go, well, how many contacts did you make? But then we're not setting the appointments, or you've gone on 12 appointments and you have only 2 agreements. Well, what's happening? And we talk about this where you can actually see on the 411 that's in front of you, those 4 boxes have the little arrows. And we say that there's always a conversation in between each of those boxes. So your conversion from appointments to agreements, there's a conversation to be had. Your agreements to closings, there's a conversation to be had. And then your closings to profitability, there's a conversation to be had. There actually should be 1 more, which is your pendings.
I call it, I think I've gotten to 7. I used to call it 6 conversations. So it's attempts, contacts, appointments, offers. And this is what your command pipeline is: contracts, closings. There's 1 more now. It's because I don't care how many closings you have, they don't necessarily equal profit.
Right.
All right, so the conversation that Michael's talking about takes place during coaching right here. So the conversation of, I attempted to contact 50 people. You had 50 dials, 50 door knocks. You went to a networking event with 50 people and you talked to no one. The conversation happens in between here. So you knocked on 50 doors. You made 0 contacts. The conversation is, what day of the week did you knock? What were you wearing? What did you look like? Did you have on a black trench coat and sunglasses and a hat? Was it 11 p.m.?
Or did you just leave it on the door?
Yeah, did you knock or did you leave it on the door and run away? Like, there's a whole bunch of conversation that happens in between here. Or let's say you had 50 attempts and you got 25. That's awesome. What day of the week? What time of the day? What were you wearing? We want to also identify patterns of success, right? That becomes the conversation. All right, you had 25 contacts. You set 0 appointments. What did you say?
What didn't you say?
Yeah. What was the purpose of the contact? Were you going in with the idea that you were going to set an appointment, or were you just out there talking and smiling at people, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so what did you say? And let's say you had 25 contacts and you scheduled 10 appointments. What did you say?
Right.
What were you doing? Because that's a great conversion rate, especially if these are cold. Now, if these are all warm contacts, people from your database, that's probably more like 15 or 20. And that appointment, let's say you had 10 appointments and you didn't write any offers. What kind of appointment were you having? Oh, we just got together and had a beer. All right, well, that's awesome. Yet you should still be able to schedule write offers. And so when I'm talking about offers, I'm talking about listing agreements, buyer broker agreements, or actual purchase offers. So does this make you money?
Well,
Eventually,
Not if this is your
No.
result.
right.
All right. So we need to make sure that, like Kent said, asking for the order. Are you asking for the order? Who are you having appointments with, and how are you or I guess you could call this a referral. Who are you asking for business from? How are you asking? So again, this is the conversation in here. So let's say you had 10 appointments and you wrote 3 offers. Okay, that's a great day, great week. How many of those offers turned into contracts? 0. All right, let's talk about what you did to set that expectation, what that consultation looked like. I mean, there's a lot of conversation that goes in there. Let's say you wrote 3 offers and you got 3 contracts, right? What did you do?
Everything right?
Everything right. You had 3 contracts, none of them went to closing. You know, we got a lot of education that needs to be had in there. But let's say you wrote 3 contracts, you had 2 of them go to closing. How much money did you make? All right, there's another conversation, right? So you guys, you're following along. So in this case, we'll say it was $25,000 for 2 contract closings. It's a good week. That's a good week. So that's what Michael's talking about regarding the arrows on the 411 and why this is a great tool to show your vital signs. Are you tracking your numbers? You can do this in the opportunities. You don't need a dry erase pipeline anymore. You have tools, you have systems to do this stuff. So we went through a GPS looking at where you are with your goal, who's impacted by your goal. Should it be changed? Should it shrink? Should it expand? We wrote down the goal. We talked about the priorities in order for you to get to that goal, the strategies for you to get to that goal. We laid it out using a tool called a 411, which helps you prepare and track to ensure that you stay on track to hit your goal. And we looked at the 7 conversations. Now, the last thing that I have is once you do your 411 for the month, don't fill these all the way out because you need to look at it week by week, but there are things that are happening that you need to prepare for. So once you set this up with preparation, open up your calendar. Yeah, the old Rachel didn't have this class on my calendar. Well, it might have gone on my 411, but then it never went on my actual calendar. So then there was no preparation in advance. So then you got to actually open up your calendar. If you got an anniversary, a birthday, a vacation, that needs to go in your calendar. So lots of information. I did it in a really condensed version of time.
Which is great.
Very condensed.
Well, and a lot of this stuff is what we've heard before, but again, it's that consistency, hearing it over and over and actually taking action. That's me. I have to take action.
So what's the first action step you'll do then?
Fill out
You'll fill that out for the month of June?
for the rest of June and July.
Okay. Don't fill out every week all the way.
No,
But so after you do that, we make a copy and put it on my desk?
absolutely.
And you have to do it before you leave today?
I'll do it as soon as we're out of here.
Okay, I love it. That's a great action step. What's another action step you guys will take? So everybody's scared. Look at Sylvia. He's scared. Look at him. He knows if he tells me, I'm going to hold him accountable to it. What are you doing this weekend, Sylvia?
Bringing Pablo out.
You hosting an open house?
Yeah.
What day are you hosting an open house?
I was gonna reach out to DJ, said he would have.
Okay, so you're going to host an open house this weekend. What do you got to do in order to prepare for that open house?
Study it. know the property.
And when are you gonna go?
This week.
And who's gonna go with you? I'm going door knocking.
Yeah.
That's my new thing. You guys just asked me. I'm gonna go door knocking with you. It's rough out there for you guys.
Yeah.
Not the door knocking. The door knocking was super easy. So anybody who's watching this, I loved it. Like I was not in the best mood on Tuesday. Just kind of like blah, trying to get my energy and my mindset where it needed to be. And I went door knocking. Now you can't walk up to a door like this.
No.
No. So I had like the biggest smile possible, my sunglasses up.
Oh, dude.
I'm Rachel from Keller Williams. How are you today?
I'm good.
It was just like this outpouring of energy and positivity and smiles. And that creates chemicals in your body. Like by the time I was done, I was like, whoo, I'm on cloud nine. I'm high. I'm high as a kite with enthusiasm, right? So, okay. So action step, open house, walk in Pablo in the streets of downtown St. Pete,
Tomorrow, yes.
and door knocking.
Yeah. And posting on different groups across St. Petersburg.
Great. Awesome. What's another action step you guys are going to take out of this information? Go, Denise.
I'm gonna make my 5 contacts every morning.
Every morning, you're going to make your 5 contacts every morning.
Yeah, because the 50's too much for me.
Yeah, and guys, guess what? How you make your contacts, that's completely up to you. It can be Facebook Messenger, text message. I don't care. Michael cares. I don't care.
No, I'm talking phone calls.
Okay.
I'm not afraid.
Not afraid. I love it. All right. Well, if you guys are watching on Facebook or on Zoom, please type in what one action step you're going to take from this or something that you learned. I hope that you guys learned. I hope it was a good use of the 1 hour of your day so that you can be productive for the rest of the day. So thank you guys for being here.
Yay.
Woo.
Thank
How
you,
you doing,
Rachel.
bud?
Thank
It's been a
you.
while.
What's going on?
It's been a while. You doing all right?
I can say it's for me,
How's married life?
talking selfishly,
Good.
for me,
Sure darn
my
outstanding.
mindset has
Oh, wow.
finally
It's much better than the.
Oh,
been able to
yeah.
clear
Oh,
out
yeah.
some of the negativity and the down stuff.
Oh,
So, yeah.
well, you know what? You know,